Yo. What's up? YouTube? What's good? What's good? This is the podcast. Is This Thing On? I'm your host, Carl Thornton Jr. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit special, something a little bit different. I'm only here by myself. I normally have guests, but today I just wanted to cover. This is going to start the volume 1. This is going to be the first volume, of the Secret of Thinking and Growing Rich. This is a book that I wrote, authored. It's published on YouTube, on Amazon. You guys can go get your own copy if you want to. I have the link in the chat, and it's also going to be in the description of this video. The reason why I want to do this is because there's people that bought the book, and I really want to kind of walk through every single step that the book entails and help you guys out along with the book and go over the process and how to get the most out of the book. Shout out to my boy D Nail in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you as well, man. I'm gonna give you some air horns, man. Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. I've been, the crazy thing is I just received my first royalty check from the book, which was really nice. It's something that it's not millions of dollars and anything like that, you know what I mean? But I created the book and I received some compensation for it. So now it's really time to advertise this book and get it out there like crazy. I think it'll really help a lot of people be able to change their lives the way it changed mine. So just a backstory on the book. The reason why I created the book was because I was at a time in my life I was going through a divorce with my first wife, the mother of my children. It was really tough for me. Matter of fact, Tribulation Kids right now here in the chat helped me through that. He brought me to God. He told me, you know what I mean? He gave me so much advice and actually was real instrumental in me being able to get out of that circumstance, better myself, and then get me to where I am today. So, man, thank you, D-Nail, man, for real, from the bottom of my heart. I thank you all the time, man. You don't like me doing that, but I'm going to do it anyway, man. Let me get that up out the way. But the reason why I made the book is because I started to recognize people when I was riding in the cars. I see people that pull up next to me and I can see this look on their face, and I knew that they were going through something similar to what I was going through. And I just wanted to say, I just told myself, you know what, today is the last day. At some point, I just got to the point where I realized that it's been so long since I've been happy. It's been I didn't even remember what it felt like anymore. So I was like, you know what? I made a decision, and making a decision as a human being is one of the most powerful things that you really can experience, because once you make a decision, a wholehearted decision, man, everything changes. And it can be a good decision or it can be a bad decision. I decided to make a good decision. I decided to be happy. I decided that I wasn't going to let another person control my emotions anymore, control my life just in general. How many people are out there right now that have these bad relationships, when you have another person in control of your emotions? And I know I was there. 100%. I let another person control my emotions when and this person doesn't even really care about the way you feel, and that's the worst part, you know what I mean? So this person can be happy and then you happy, and this person can be mad and it just makes you mad. This person can do things to deliberately to make you feel some type of way, and it's always you feeling some type of way. This person is in complete control of how you feel. So what I did was I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do it no more. I'm not going to accept this no more. I'm going to be in control of my own feelings, my own destiny, my own everything. I'm just going to take control of my life in general. And it was a process anyway. I didn't just write this book right then and there. It took me a little bit of time to be able to get to this point. This book is about 4.5 years in the making. I remember when I was living in an apartment, I was by myself, and I started to invest in myself. I started to buy books. I started to buy online courses. I started to buy things that I thought would be able to help get me out of this situation. The first thing I bought, I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on this stuff, you guys. So this information in this book really is a composite of Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, um, Dr. Joseph Murphy, man, just a bunch of people, man. And a bunch of people I can't even think of off the top of my head, but it really is. This isn't a new process. This isn't something that I invented, but this is something that is custom to me, and your journey is going to be custom to you. What I decided was I was going to come up with a process that I used to get myself from one point to the next point. Now, the book, it has some really cool things in there, and a lot of people purchase them, and I really want to be able to go through each one of these sections. Each one of these volumes will be covering a different section in the book, and I'm just wanted to start off with the explainer. And I start off by saying thank you, dear future successful person. The reason why I'm thanking you guys, number one, thank you so much for the support, but thank you again, because this is contagious. Once you start to go on this journey, it gets contagious. You start to spread it, and then more people start to spread it, and all of a sudden, you have this sort of a wildfire. I had my pastor in my studio earlier today, and he was talking about some of the uh pastors or preachers or whatever you want to call them, and their massive following, and people are calling them, they're not calling them preachers or religious leaders, they're calling them motivational speakers. And I had to tell him, well, he knew about it anyway, but I told him, yeah, I mean, pretty much if you're out there and you're spreading good and you're spreading positivity, that's your word, right? You don't have to be preaching, you don't have to be using Bible scriptures all the time, but as long as you spreading positivity, as long as you're changing lives in some kind of way, you're going to build a following, a positive following. Preachers are motivational speakers, and there's a motivation in different types of things that we say. So preachers could be motivational speakers, but and they could be preachers as well. But I think all in the same, they're just pretty much exact. They're preaching the word. That's their gospel. That's their word. That's their what do you call it? I don't even know how to even put it into words, but that's the word that they're spreading. Now, if it's positive, then I believe it is godly, right? It's not negative, it's not slander, it's not hate. It's trying to get people that are in a place and take them to another place that's in sending a positive message. So that's exactly what this is. I'm not a preacher or anything like that. It really is just thanking people for purchasing their own copy, but then also it's just going to be inevitable that you decide to start to share this stuff. And I structured this very specific because number one, I didn't on the daily things, on the I call it the health, wealth, happiness, and the results. I structured this in a way where there wasn't any dates, because I bought journals before and they were all dated. And to me, it was more about money than it actually was about getting the results. I didn't put any dates on here because sometimes, especially when we're getting started, we're not just going to leap and then just kill it right from the gate. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. For liking the studio. I appreciate it. I worked super hard on this thing. I'm still kind of developing it a little bit. But we almost there. But yeah, so I did it so there's no pressure, right? So because when we start this journey, it's not just we're not gonna jump 2 feet in. And we're gonna have our trip ups, and we're gonna have our days where we don't feel like doing it. And that's okay, because it's not dated. So if you skip a day, you can start right back on the very next page and pick up where you left off. So there's 60 days worth of that. But the reason why I structured it the way I did, I started off with what I like to call a pain statement. And the pain statement is, what are you sick and tired of? And I only made it one page, but we have to realize what we are sick and tired of in order to move forward, in order to get out of that environment. Some people are still in the environment that makes them sick on a daily basis and don't even realize it, right? This is really, before we start to get to the positive messages or the positive things in our life, before we start to tackle that, we have to understand what's been holding us down, what's been holding us back. And the pain statement really does start to uncover some of that stuff. And it's something that I wrote a long time ago where I remember vividly I was getting we were they I was renting a house with my previous wife, and they sold the house. We had 60 days to get out. So we go house hunting and we find this townhome. And keep in mind, we had 2 kids at the time. And we found this townhome and we go to look at the townhome. We loved it. We loved it. We fell in love with it. And we met with the guy that was renting out. It was a private owner. And I thought we made a bond with the guy. We filled out the application. We sent it. We started packing our stuff. It was a slam dunk. He hits us back, and we didn't have bad credit. We both had good jobs at the time. He hits us back with the email. Couldn't even call us and tell us, but the email pretty much said, "Thank you so much for your time, but we found a more qualified um, family to live in my house." And when he did that, when like soon as I read that thing so many different times, and it did something to me. And keep in mind, I didn't make any changes at that moment either. It's like a buildup, right? There's going to be certain moments in your life where things are going to happen. It's just going to be more fuel to the fire, right? And I still think about that, even though that happened probably about 15 years ago or so, maybe even more. But it's fuel to the fire, right? Even though I didn't make the change then, but I knew I had to make a change at some point. So this is like step one when you decide that, you know what, I'm not about to take this no more. So that's where the statement, the pain statement comes in, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to be overlooked anymore. I'm not going to accept these BS jobs. I'm not going to accept this person that I'm living with to treat me some sort of way. I'm not going to accept, whatever it is that you're not going to accept no more. That should really go into your pain statement. And that's going to lead you to start doing the opposite, right? The opposite of your pain is going to be your happiness, right? You're going to get out of whatever has been holding you back. You're going to get out of these situations and things that don't make you happy, because life is too short to be doing things that don't make you happy. Don't make you happy. In the happiness, wealth, health, results category, I made sure that each day when you wake up in the morning, there is, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? Right? If we don't know what we're grateful for, then we're missing a whole lot of opportunities to be blessed with more. In order to be blessed with more, you have to be grateful for what you already have. There's a lot of ungrateful people that have been blessed in unimaginable ways, and they don't pay attention to it because they walk around with this entitled ass attitude, thinking everybody owes them something, instead of thinking that I'm grateful for what I have already. Right? He has blessed a lot of us. And sometimes you get blessed in a different way where it's more of an obstacle. Sometimes you ask for something and you receive the opposite, and that's because this is the way to get exactly what it is that you want, right? If you pray and ask for strength, you're going to be in situations that normally will make you weak, right? And this is going to be a test to build that strength. It's like working out, right? It's you you start off and you know that you want your body to look a certain way. It's not just going to happen just by thought. You have to actually get out there and start to lift the weights and make those changes. Thank you guys so much for everybody who's joining too. I really appreciate it. Um and when you ask the universe or you ask God for things, it's going to be the same thing. There's going to have to be some work that you have to put in. But in the HWHR, or the health, wealth, happiness, and results, I made sure I put, what are you grateful for? A to-do list, because there's going to be times in your life where you're going to feel lost, right? You're going to have ideas. You're going to not know the direction that you really want to go. And this is going to help you with that. 4 things. What are the 4 most important things that you need to do with your day today? And you just write them down there. And it's cool if you even do this the night before when you wake up and you actually know what you need to do. This is my favorite part right here, your daily health goals. How many people out there are actually doing, and there should be more than just 2, but I understand the law of averages, and the average person, especially here in the States, They don't do one thing every single day that's healthy for them. How many people exercise? How many people eat healthy? Eating healthy is a part of this as well. You know, having that salad instead of having that ice cream with the whipped cream and the nuts and the cherry and all, you know what I mean? Like, okay, let's not eat that. Let's choose a little bit better. I done gained a little weight. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm struggling. It's a struggle, man. I ain't perfect. You know what I mean? Again, it's a journey. Let's talk about the daily wealth goals, right? Are you heading towards wealth? Are you heading towards your goals in life where you can pass down wealth to your children and to your children's children? It's not just about you, it's about the people that you've brought into this world that you're responsible for. It's about making a legacy. I remember reading something one time and I got really emotional about it too, especially at this time. And it was a couple of things. Number one, there's a guy named Ty Lopez. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of him. There's a lot of people that talk a bunch of crap about him. I don't really agree about everything that he does. He does pyramid schemes and stuff like that. But I remember I bought a little course when I was going through my thing, and I remember he said this thing that it made me break down crying right there and there. And it said, do you deserve the lifestyle you think you want? I'm gonna say that again. Do you deserve the lifestyle that you think you want? One more time. Do you deserve the lifestyle that you think you want? I had to sit back and be honest with myself. And this is where the pain statement comes in again. And you have to be honest with yourself because at that time, no, not at all. I didn't deserve none of it. I wanted all of it, but I didn't deserve not one bit. And I sat there and I'm like, how can I be, well, how old was I then? I was like early 30s or whatever. How can I be a man in my early 30s wanting this and wanting that and not deserve absolutely none of it? Crazy, right? Even though I've worked my entire life, but the lifestyle that I actually wanted, I didn't deserve any of it because I didn't put any extra work in at all. I had no goals. I didn't put none of the extra work in. I probably had a little attitude most of the time. Probably wasn't a very good person and none of that stuff. But I wanted the sun, moon, and the stars, and I didn't put any work into it to get it. It really made me. It made me emotional. Like I had to sit down and I was like, wow, damn, I don't deserve any of that stuff. Now, what am I going to do to start deserving some of that stuff? And I started to make changes then. Not a lot, just small ones. Another thing that I put in this section is called happiness goals. Every single day, everyone to me should be doing at least two things every single day to make themselves happy. That doesn't include your spouse. That's just if you're doing something with your spouse and that makes you happy, that's fine. But this is individual. This is the individual thing. This is the individual journey. Everybody can't come with you on your journey. And most of the time you'll start to see once you start going on this journey that people that really don't have your back, the people that don't really care for you that much, they'll start to fall off. And then the people that really do love you, you'll see them, they'll start to step up. And then you'll meet other people along the way and along this journey. But happiness, man, is one of the most important things that you can do. And every single day, you should be doing at least two things to make yourself happy. I don't give a damn what it is. If it's washing your feet in the gutter, if that makes you happy and that makes you smile, man, by all means, do it. Do it well. Do it often. Do it every day. If it doesn't really matter what it is. If mowing the lawn makes you happy, or doing the dishes, or whatever the case may be, playing video game, it doesn't matter. But you should be at least two times a day taking that time for yourself to build your own happiness. So that way you can never be like me when I forgot what it was like to be happy. Because when you forget what it's like to be happy, you're in a pretty damn dark place, right? Pretty dark place. And now that I think about it, I was in a dark place. And it's kind of hard to believe being in that dark place and being where I am right now, the difference between those two people. You're not going to be the same person by the time you get done doing this book right here. You're going to be a completely different person. You're probably not even going to be able to recognize yourself, to be honest with you, because I would not be able to recognize myself if I rewound my life 10 years ago. I wouldn't even understand the mindset. It's just a crazy thing. So that was the pain statement. I kind of went off on a tangent there, man, because I'm just really excited about it. And and again, I put this in order for a reason. So following the pain statement, I read this book by Andres Pira. It's called the Homeless to Billionaire, and this was one of the best books I've ever read. And it was something in there that just really caught my attention. And it's called Do, Be, Go, Have. Do the actions necessary to attract wealth and unlimited opportunity in your life. How many people actually want stuff, but they don't actually do stuff? Right? They want it, but they don't do the things necessary to attract the things that they want. And I'm gonna throw a disclosure out there. This journey is about opportunity. Most people that people think are lucky, they actually worked hard as hell to put themselves in the position to take advantage of opportunities. If you're not ready for an opportunity won't come for you, or you won't even ever recognize that there's opportunity in front of you. Now, we can all sit back and we can cry and we can want this and we can want that, but most that we the main thing that we should want is awareness. We want to be aware of the things that we want when it's right in front of our face. A lot of the times we want things, it's right in front of our face, but we're in such a way that we won't even recognize it. And we need to change that. We need to be more aware. We need to be more structured and heading towards our goals, so that way when that opportunity comes, you can say that this is the moment you've been preparing for your entire life. The next is B. Be focused on bringing your future into reality. Mm. Be focused on bringing your future into reality. Now, this whole book is about setting goals. We're goal oriented beings. We're most happy when we have a goal in front of us, and we're most happy when we're striving to reach those goals. Every time I've set a goal for myself, I've always accomplished it. And I'm sure that could be the same for you if you stick with it long enough. This is going to get you to stick with that goal long enough to be able to see that if you set your mind to anything, you can accomplish anything. And it doesn't matter what it is. We've flown to the moon. We invented airplanes. We do all sorts of stuff. I'm talking to you on a microphone that is live on a platform. I can't even see where the hell this thing is. I just know I see myself on TV, and I know people are in the chat chatting with me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been able to imagine none of this stuff 30 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. Right. So dream and think big. The next is go. Go think, risk, and believe in more than you feel comfortable in achieving. I'm going to say that one more time. Go think, risk, and believe in more than you feel comfortable in achieving. Now, that means you're going to have to step outside your comfort zone. You're going to have to step out of that box a little bit. You're going to have to be broke for a little while, especially if the goal is big enough. The thing is, when you start to take this journey, especially like what I want what I want. I want it big. I want it all, right? I want to be able to affect millions and millions of people, right? And that's not no small task. And it's not going to happen overnight. And I had to realize that. And another thing I had to realize is that if I'm going to reach my goals, I'm going to have to reach outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to have to reach outside of my friends and my family that are just right here really close, and they will always support me. But I'm going to have to reach outside of that. I'm going to have to affect people outside of just my regular people that I deal with. And it gets really uncomfortable. When babies are born, the only thing they fear is loud noises and falling. That's it. Where does this fear of criticism come in? This is a learned behavior. We don't Babies don't fear criticism at all. You know what I mean? There's cute babies, there's ugly babies, but when they're babies, they don't know no different. They're not worried about what somebody thinks about them, right? It's a learned behavior. We have to be able to get away from that fear of criticism, that fear of what people thinks about us, that fear of just stepping out and being ourselves, right? Because what we think inside is one of the most it's so intimate, and it's so I don't even know I couldn't even describe it, but we get really vulnerable when we decide to think about something and then share that with the world, right? And you know what I'm talking about if you ever written a song, or you ever written poetry, or you ever did anything creative, something that hasn't been done before, something that's created by you, something that you're passionate about, there's always that vulnerability there. There's always that fear of criticism. There's always that fear of what people might think. Who gives a damn? Oh, well, you know what I mean? As long as there's somebody out there doing it, you can be the next person doing it. It doesn't have to, you don't have to worry about what somebody else thinks. Hell, they strung Jesus up on a cross, right? So eh, nobody, and not everybody's going to like what you're doing. LeBron James, fantastic athlete, does so much for so many people, but yet people still criticize this dude, right? So it's always going to happen. People are always going to have something to say. You have to build yourself up to the point where you just don't give a damn what anybody said. You're just going to do what you do, right? Like, right, D-Nell, like that's what it is, though, right? There's always that fear of criticism. There's always that fear that somebody is going to say something, but you have to be brave enough to be like, I don't give a damn no more. I believe in what I'm doing so much that I don't give a damn what this person thinks, what this person thinks, what this person thinks. I don't care what this person says. I don't care what that person says. I'm going to do my intended mission. Let's move on next. Have the confidence and the faith that you can do it. And this all comes from within. If you notice, this is nothing about no audience. This is nothing about no cheer squad. This is all within. This is all stuff that is within. Once we figure this stuff out within, then what's going on outside of us, we really don't even care about anymore at all. The confidence comes from within. The faith comes from within. The faith in God, the faith to believe that you can accomplish anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Like I said, we've flown to the moon. We got airplanes. I'm talking to you on this microphone that has a wire that goes somewhere, and this somewhere is leading to you guys being able to hear me talk. It's crazy. But if you believe it, you can achieve it. Everything starts with thought. This microphone I'm talking on, it didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Somebody thought about this. This microphone stand, somebody seen the need. They decided to make a stand. The phone, all these things started off as thoughts. And once you understand that everything starts in thought, start to have better thoughts, start to have more positive thoughts, and then you'll see the change in your life. The last one, now. Now is the time to turn things around. So live a life full of action, and it starts now. The next volume, I'm gonna cover the self-analysis because that's a little bit of a tough thing, and it forces you to be honest with yourself when you really don't want to be. I designed the questions in a way that when I was younger, I would lie to myself about a lot of this stuff. It has to do with relationships. It has to do with your mentality. It has to do with a lot of the things that probably have been holding you back for a long period of time, that once you're honest with yourself and you decide, you know what, I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm going to answer these questions honestly, and then I'm going to move on with my life. Because listen, this world suffers from a couple of different things, and they're all preventable. Depression and anxiety, right? Depression usually happens when we focus too much on things that's already happened to us, right? It's already done. It's already over with. We can't even change it. Where the depression sets in is the fact that it happened to us, and the fact that we can't change it and we really want to, right? We can sit there, things have happened to us, things we done went through, traumatic experiences, each person's story is a little bit different. But once we realize this has already happened, I can't change it. The only thing I can do is change myself and grow from it. We can't change the situation. We can't change the people, but you can make changes to yourself. You can better yourself. You can move forward, and you can change the world because of experiences. We all experience things that other people have experienced similar things. And some people are strong enough to get out of them. And to me, we go through these things because God wants us to help other people that are going through similar things, right? There's always somebody that's going through something that's similar to you, that can relate to you instead of relating to me or relating to somebody else. So it's your duty to go through these trials, to go through these tribulations, to get through them, to come out of them stronger than you were before you went into them. So that way you can stand up tall and you can help your brothers and your sisters out to make sure that they don't have to go through the same thing that you went through, that the next person can have you look at you as an inspiration, so that way you can help them get out of these situations, and that way they can help somebody else, because who relates to them doesn't relate to you, and it starts a chain reaction. So, I'm saying all that to say that this has been a wonderful journey, and I'm really looking to take this thing to places that I've never been before. And again, there's always this certain amount of vulnerability. There's always there's just things that the normal person could literally just detour from. But to me, I'm meant to do this. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to help as many people as I possibly can. And I just thank God every day that he gave me the words, he gave me the courage to be able to put my process down in a book that can go out and help people when I'm not there, when I'm out doing something else. There's a guide here that could help people get out of a situation that was similar to mine. So next, the next volume, we will cover that self-analysis, and then we'll move on to some of the real heavy duty worksheet type of things, because once you get by the self-analysis and all that stuff, you'll start to understand yourself a little bit better. And that's what you really want. And all the things that you should just want understanding. You want to understand yourself. You want to understand your relationships with other people. You want to understand the way the universe works. You want to understand the way God works. You want to understand the way everything works. And once you do that, then you can start to find yourself gaining traction and getting whatever it is that you want. So I'm just going to close it out. I thank everybody for who joined me. This has been a pleasurable experience for me, and I'm just going to keep doing this, man. I'm really going to keep doing it. I have a lot of fun doing this. And I'm going to bring some more guests in and stuff like that. I got some really, really good episodes coming up here really soon. But I do want to thank everybody again for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Why is it backwards? Don't know why it's backwards. Don't know why it's backwards. Don't get it. Don't get it at all. Whatever. I hope y'all like the closer, though. I'll figure it out. It's my first one, so.